McLaren have not started the new season well. The team from Woking had to contend with all kinds of technical problems during the Bahrain Grand Prix, seeing Oscar Piastri retire early in his debut in the sport and Lando Norris make no fewer than 6 pit stops. The team is now tackling the problems, but here's everything you need to know about McLaren's struggles at the start of the 2023 season. Remember to hit subscribe down below if you like what you see, and of course give us a follow on GPFans.com and GPFans Global across social media. The young Piastri probably envisioned his Formula 1 debut unfolding a little different to how it did in Bahrain. On lap 13, the problems started for the Australian. As he headed into the first corner, the car was wobbling quite a bit, something we'd seen on multiple cars that weekend. In Piastri's case, the bounce also knocked out his steering wheel, albeit for just a few milliseconds. Now this is also something that can be seen as normal, only with Piastri, the steering wheel continued to fail more on the same lap. It was the first sign that something was not quite right with the MCL 60 of the former Formula 2 champion. In the same lap, onboard images show that Piastri's engine is revving quite high, while the steering wheel did not display a matching image in terms of the revs. A lap later, the problems got even worse. When Piastri arrived at turn 4, he downshifted into third gear, something that was confirmed audibly, but the steering wheel indicated that he was still in fourth. At that moment, the image on the steering wheel disappeared again, only to turn on a few seconds later. Turning the steering wheel off and then on happens more times, and interestingly, the car got stuck in the gear that was last seen before the steering wheel failed. In other words, Piastri had to complete his lap in second gear before coming into the pits and receiving a new steering wheel from the team. Now, the hope was that the car would reset with a new steering wheel, but unfortunately, this did not solve the problems because the steering wheel remained black. In the end, it was decided not to race any further, and Piastri's McLaren stayed in the pit box with electrical problems. The technical shortcomings for Lando Norris were a little different. The Briton suffered from a leak in the pneumatic system. Now, the system is part of the V6 hybrid engine in the MCL 60, and that was where the problems came about. Formula 1 engines use pneumatic valves, which are fed by air cylinders that have to last for an entire race. The technical story is that the pneumatic system uses conventional camshafts, which are under constant nitrogen pressure. In Norris's case, the pressure continued to drop due to a leak, and so he was forced to make no fewer than the 6 pit stops that were required so that the mechanics could increase and top up the pressure again. It's a solution that doesn't really please anybody because the driver loses positions and lap time, and the mechanics know that increasing the pressure during a pit stop is a temporary solution. In the end, Norris managed to finish his disappointing race 2 laps behind, but McLaren will probably have a new power unit fitted for the second race of the season in Saudi Arabia. It is also important that the new engine is also connected to an external gas cylinder to prevent the valves from lowering and hitting the pistons of the power unit. So it can only really get better for McLaren this season, but it's hardly the start that they wanted, even if they were looking pretty poor in pre-season testing. Will it get better? Let us know in the comments section below, and for all the latest news in Formula 1, remember gpfans.com.